everyone. Um, I just got back from a week-long trip. I went to Wisconsin to see my aunt, who was 97 years old, who's going to be 98. And throughout that week, we didn't do much. We mostly spent our time with her, but I had a great time at the vacation, but I did not have a great time getting there and getting home. I honestly thought coming back home to California would be easier. I don't know what I was freaking thinking, but I'm going to be making this video to explain what happened to me and my family because this involves them as well. I'm not going to be displaying who they are, but how me and my family were treated and my experience traveling with Los Angeles airport, LAX. Sun Country Airlines is what we used. But my experience with them as a blind traveler. And I used to not have this problem. Like, I've been flying through LAX, I would say, like, 4 other times in my life. And we were going to the same place. We were flying in to Minneapolis, St. Paul from LA. And I've never had this issue before. It started on last Sunday. We assumed it was because of the red eye and that people were in a bad mood or something. I don't know. I guess that whatever it was, they were just not having it with me or my family. And it wasn't just us. Like, at this point, like, other people were kind of not being treated very well. But I figured that out later, and that was just fine. Those people were very cruel and kind of deserved what they got from the flight attendants. But, it started when we were getting our boarding passes. Everything was fine with that. The lady was very kind. And then it became to the little security check-in thing where you gotta take off your shoes and put all your crap in these little buckets. And people go to check, and you walk through, I guess it's a metal detector. It's like a little machine. And my grandpa was like, hey, she's blind. She can't go through it by herself because she doesn't know where she's going. And especially with the vision that I do, like, kind of have, I couldn't see anything. Like, there was no glare or anything. Because it was 11 o'clock at night. And I had my glasses on, and I had my glasses on dark, actually, is what happened. Because I didn't want anything in my eye. I was already tired. And usually there's a worker that will grab my hands and walk with me through the thing. And this time they were like, well, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to get someone else. Like, the one lady was like, well, I don't want to do that. It's too much work or whatever. And I'm just going to grab someone else. She said something like that. She said, oh, I don't want to do it or something. And I was like, okay. And I was standing, like, by the little metal detector thing. Sorry, I'm really tired. I'm jet lagged. I was standing by the little metal detector thing, and they were like, oh, you got to move away from here. And I'm like, okay. And they start this brush thing that was very thick and very uncomfortable and very scaly. They ran that over like the entirety of both my hands, and I was like, why can't I just walk through the machine? They were like, because I don't want to have to do my job. They didn't say that. That's just, they were kind of brushing me off, and that's what I was thinking that they would say in their head. I don't want to do my job. So, and then these people were, because we were trying to gather all our stuff. There were 4 of us. Me, my aunt, and my cousin, and my grandpa. And my cousin is 4 years younger than me. She's 13. Luckily, it was a little easier for those 2. And then we were being physically shoved by these people in an attempt to get our stuff. They were shoving us, trying to push us away, saying we were blocking or whatever. One guy actually screamed in my face because I wouldn't tell him what my name was, because I didn't know he was talking to me, because the idiot was pointing at me like I could see below my freaking chin. And I was like, okay, thanks, dude. It's almost 12 o'clock in the morning. I am not happy. I am tired. I hate red-eye flights. Because I need my sleep. And I didn't freaking get that. I did sleep on the plane, though. It wasn't bad. I had a neck pillow and everything. I was chill. But, and then we had to take a shuttle bus to the place where we actually get on the plane, which we had to wait 20 minutes for the next one. And then they did all the wheelchairs first because they had the ramp, and then I come up and they put the ramp back up. And my aunt was like, she needs the ramp because that step is way too high. That step went past my knees. And I'm 5 feet. I'm 5 feet and 1 inch. And that step went up to my knee. Frick that. I am not walking up. They ended up saying, well, she needs to walk up the step, because we already put the ramp down and we're not going to put it back up. And, so I went up the step and immediately almost fell, like right off it. I had to be basically carried. And then I got a seat on the bus, and this lady, who was like a aide or something, like a bus helper, was verbally harassing my aunt the entirety of the shuttle, saying that it's my aunt's fault that she didn't communicate, even though she did, and all this other stuff, and that we were being unreasonable by being upset. And my aunt was like, okay, I'm not going to respond to you, because like I said, it was almost midnight and we were all exhausted. So they made a big deal about letting me go down the step with the ramp. But there was this guy who guided me down the ramp, and he was very nice. He made up for that terrible lady. And while we were getting off, that lady had followed us for a second and yelled at my aunt again, next time communicate. And don't make me look stupid, or I don't know what she said, but I know she said, like, next time communicate. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know they were yelling at my aunt. She told me that because I wasn't paying attention. I was too tired. And then, the rest of it was smooth. We got on the plane. We actually almost missed boarding because of all this stuff that was going on. They started boarding early, didn't tell us. And my aunt and my cousin wanted to go get something to eat, but my grandpa heard our plane. Was like, oh yeah, we're about to stop boarding. And my papa like ran for my aunt. Was like, oh, you gotta go, we gotta go, because we're about to stop. We almost missed the plane getting there. We made it on. These really, really rude lady and I guess her husband, I don't know. I assumed they were married because they were both talking the same way and they're from the same country, and this dude like agreed with everything she said like a freaking magnet. They got kicked off the plane and then we were able to go and that was fine, and then we had a little bit of trouble in Minneapolis getting our rental car, but I'm not going to speak about that because it was just some guy not knowing what he was doing. He was the only guy working there and he just didn't know what he was doing. It's not anything to do with the rest of it, but oh my god, today we got up at 1:30 in the morning to drive to the car rental place in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to return the vehicle that we rented. And we made it there. It took a few hours because my grandpa got lost. His navigation system got lost. It took him an interesting way, but that's because they were doing road repairs on the way we usually go. So it took longer. It took longer. And the people who work at the airport in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you guys are awesome. I love you. You are so kind. They let my grandpa actually participate in taking me through the little metal detector thing. They put me on priority. Like, it was really, really great. They weren't rude at all about me being blind or anything, and we were actually having a good time. We made it perfect. Right when boarding started, we were the first on the plane. Like, they treated us really, really good. That's what an airport is supposed to do. Like, if you're handicapped, you're supposed to be treated like so. Like, they're supposed to be kind and stuff, and LAX just was in a freaking mood. So when we got home, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and we assumed that they were done with their feud, in that since it was a week later, we did not run into the same people. It would be better. No. It wasn't. My aunt got yelled at again, and I'm going to explain that after I say that. It honestly was not bad getting off the plane to LA. I do feel like our pilot was kind of an idiot because it doesn't take you 45 minutes to land. He was just playing around. He kept going up and down. But that's just my opinion. I don't know if he was actually doing something important. It wasn't my problem. I didn't care. We got off. We go to baggage claim. We went the wrong way-ish. So we had to turn around and we got all scrambled. And my younger cousin, she took me to my aunt's car because she had picked us up. Her and my cousin, they left 2 days before we did. They spent a shorter time in our vacation because they had to immediately go somewhere else, and they had to spend a few days at home. So they left Friday, we left today. So my aunt and I are waiting for my cousin to help my grandpa with the luggage, which has not come. My aunt was parked and waiting in the handicapped thing, directly in there, and some security guy walked up and started berating her on being waiting. And he goes, under no circumstances are you allowed to wait here. And she goes, what the hell are you talking about? I'm in handicapped. My niece is in the back. She's handicapped. And not everyone is here yet. The luggage, we're waiting for the luggage. We just want to get her in the car so she wasn't standing there. Because I have a bad back as well. There's that too, and I can't stand for long periods of time. And so after that, there was the same guy who came back, and my aunt was standing outside of her car, and he yelled at her again. And he goes, this is me being patient. And she was like, okay. So she opened my door and said, this is my niece. My niece has a disability to the point where she needs people around her all the time. And he just told her to move and get out of his patrol area. And she's like, okay, I'll move. Took about an hour to get our luggage because the luggage people screwed up something and ended up unloading 2 planes at the same time for some, I don't know how. And we finally made it out of LAX, and I got to go home. By the time I got home, it was like around 11. But I thought I would make this because I see a lot of crappy airport stories on social media, and how people who are blind or have other disabilities suffered because of that. And I thought I would share my story as inspiration or whatever. Sorry if it didn't sound like fully professional like everyone else's. I am exhausted and I just didn't want to forget, and I'm also writing my novel. I'm choking on my own lungs right now. Ugh. Anyway, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'm gonna post this and share it and hope that I get some freaking positive feedback, because right now I feel like crap. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful June, a wonderful summer, a wonderful Sunday, a wonderful freaking whatever. And if you have a disability and you fly at an airport that is known for being crappy, hold your head up. Have an aunt like mine who does not take no for an answer, and have a great day. Bye.